In the last 3 months, we helped one of our B2B clients 3x their business. Their goal this year is to 5x, and only 3 months in and we're already halfway there. But I need you to understand that they didn't just get lucky and sign a client. The reason they 3x'd is because we followed the exact framework that we have used time and time before that has generated over $20 million for more than 180 plus B2B companies to figure out where their business was, what the bottleneck was, and what systems we needed to install to make scaling actually possible. And in this video, I'm going to pull back the curtain and tell you about the 3 core systems we helped them install to 3x their revenue, more than double their productivity, and allow the founder to finally be able to do whatever he wanted with his time. So get comfortable, let's get into it. The company is called Blue Fusion, and they've been in business for over 25 years. They work with age tech, longevity, and tech, as well as enterprise level ventures. They've worked with the companies like early stage Yelp, LinkedIn, and Skype. And one thing I want to be very clear before I get into the systems, Blue Fusion was not a broken company. When we first started working with them, they were already amazing at what they do, which is growth marketing. They produce incredible work and their reputation is very, very strong. But here's the thing, being really good at what you do while having an amazing business and having the systems that enable you to scale are 2 very different things. And that's why we work with Blue Fusion. They want to be able to serve more clients. And they also knew that they wanted to hit a 5x year. But without the systems in place, every step forward takes a little bit more energy than it should. The business was not yet built around where they wanted to go. That's something we call build mode. Everything is working, you're producing a very good high quality service, but you're not ready to scale. And the scariest part about build mode is most founders don't act on it until something breaks, which usually means you're acting reactively instead of proactively. Luckily, Blue Fusion wanted to be proactive about their scaling, which is why the results looked the way they did. When we went in and looked at the full picture, everything we needed to build fell around these 3 areas: a delivery system, a revenue system, and a people system. Each part was equally important, and when operating together throughout their business, it literally became impossible for them not to 3x. Let me break down the systems one by one. System 1, the delivery system. The first system we built was everything that touches how Blue Fusion serves their clients. When we came in, they did have a project management tool in place. It was Asana, but it was getting a little bit hard to manage. And the way that Asana is naturally set up is meant for a particular kind of person to find it productive, even with all of their customizations. It's like people who have ADHD trying to go through the regular school system that's not built for people with ADHD. We need to make sure that the project management tool worked around their brain, not altering their brain to work with the project management tool. Even with Asana, everything was getting done, everything was getting done on time, everything was being done well, everything was being tracked. But at the same time, their Asana was just not serving them. So what ends up happening is everything ended up living in the brain of the CMO as well as the founder. Everything living in your head is fine when you're small, but it's not fine when you're trying to 5x. So we built them a Notion project management system from scratch. That meant that every project had a home, every task had an owner, and every deadline was visible to anyone who needed to see it. But the absolute best part was, this Notion setup was based off of the CMO's brain and what worked best for her, which meant that there's just generally less micromanaging and less meetings, of course. That alone massively increased their productivity. Because let's face it, if your project management tool was actually your source of truth in the company on how everything was being delivered and tracked, you would be really happy too. On top of that, we built a brand new onboarding system for clients. Because every time they signed a new client, the process of onboarding them was quite manual. Someone had to do a bunch of things by hand every single time, which of course would cause a lot of anxiety where excitement should be. So most of it's automated now. Now when a new client signs, the process kicks off on its own. Nothing gets missed, and they get to focus on delivering instead of wondering if they sent that onboarding PDF or not. Everyone's happy. We're also working on building client portals so clients can see all of the information in one dashboard. This matters more than people think. Blue Fusion's clients are sophisticated. They're boutique. They expect a certain level of professionalism at every point, which is fair. Not just in the quality of the marketing itself. That's what this portal will deliver. The result of the delivery system was simple. Give the team their time back. Time that was going into managing the chaos around the work and keeping clients up to date, which of course not only massively increased their productivity, but also eliminated a lot of stress around the client communication. The second system we built was everything that touched on how Blue Fusion gets clients. Now this one is interesting because it's not that they were bad at sales. It was a lot more specific than that. They were going to a lot of networking events and were in rooms with the right people, but converting those conversations into a real first step with prospects was harder than it needed to be. Their offer was high level, and their delivery really, really good. But there was no easy, low friction way for prospects to experience what working with them would be like before having to commit to anything. So we came up with the idea of jam sessions together, a structured, valuable first touch point that allowed the right people to get a real taste of what having Blue Fusion in their corner really meant. It gave Blue Fusion something very concrete to offer in those networking conversations, because yes, it was no commitment, low risk, and it made networking in those rooms significantly more productive for everyone involved. Alongside that, of course, we set up their closed CRM, because every good business needs a good CRM, and automated as much of the sales process as we could. The tracking started to become systematic. Follow-up sequences should run automatically. Nothing fell between the cracks from the first conversation to the close, which of course massively increased their conversion rate and skyrocketed their revenue. On top of that, we helped them get sharper about who they were targeting. To a lot of people, niching down feels like shrinking. But when you're genuinely the best at something, like top 1% of your industry, which Blue Fusion was, niching down is a multiplier. It makes your positioning clearer, your outreach more targeted, and your reputation in the right rooms more concentrated. It also opens the door to speaking at events and sitting on panels in authority spaces. The result of the revenue system was that getting the right clients became more predictable because there was an actual system in there that was working full time and less reliant on who the founder was standing next to at a certain event. One scales, the other doesn't. System 3, the people system. The third system was about the team. Blue Fusion has a CMO who is exceptional at what she does. Love you. Genuinely, before we came in, a significant amount of her time was going to operations as well as marketing. But really where she thrives is strategic and creative work as well as delivery. That is the exact work that she is supposed to do. This is an expensive problem. When your best people are spending time on things that well-built systems could handle, you're kind of losing in two directions at once. So of course we help them vet and train a new project manager. And I want to be clear about how we did this, because most companies hire first and figure it out later. And that's exactly why most hires fail. We built the role before we hired for it. We defined what this role would own and what this person would be accountable for, what success looks like in the first 3 months. Then we went and vetted the right person. And finally, we trained them on the system so that way they could actually run it. The outcome was exactly what we needed it to be. The CMO gets her time back. The founder gets a layer of operational ownership between him and the day-to-day. And the team had somebody whose entire job was to make sure that projects were running smoothly and nothing was being bottlenecked. One good hire in the right seat changes everything about what a founder is able to step away from. Here's where Blue Fusion is now. 3 months into the year, they've already 3x their business. The goal is to 5x, and we're more than halfway there. Currently, as I'm filming this, it's only March 2026, baby. The team has capacity that they didn't have before. The client experience is more consistent and more professional at every stage. And the conversations that the founder has been having with big leads, they're not afraid to close them. They can handle it. That means their revenue is going to go through the roof. That is what happens when you build a system before you need them. You just stop leaving revenue on the table. And on top of that, the founder can go on a vacation whenever he wants and not feel guilty about it. Blue Fusion did not have a broken business. They had an excellent business with a ceiling that they did not deserve. The ceiling was not in their talent, not their reputation, and definitely not the quality of work. It was the systems underneath, everything that had not been built for where they wanted to go. Identifying and installing the right systems changed that. We are now moving into the next phase together, building the client acquisition system to fill up all the capacity we just created, because that is how the cycle works. You build the system to support growth, and then you grow into them. That is what 5x looks in practice. If you're still watching this, that means that something in Blue Fusion's story resonated with you. Now, here's what is next. If you are a mid-sized B2B company and you are ready to scale without everything falling on your shoulders and stop being the bottleneck in your own business, then you're exactly who we built our 7-day free trial for. We come in, identify 1 to 2 brutal bottlenecks that are holding back your revenue growth, solve them live and in front of you for free, no credit card, no contract, no commitment. Everything we build together, you get to keep. Worst case scenario, you leave with a clear picture of what's actually in the way of your revenue growth. Best case, your business starts moving in the way that it was supposed to. You'll find a link with more information about our 7-day free trial in the description below. My name is Brandy Grace Wong, and I am the founder of Totally Branded. We are an embedded operations team built like co-founders, specializing in client acquisition, fixing broken systems, and building systems that you need to grow your business without you having to be in the middle of everything or affecting your deliverability. If you want to check out more of what we do, my socials are going to be coming up on the screen now. Peace. See you in the next one.